Okay, you old farts, you ready to go back to kindergarten? We're going back to 1949 when I was in kindergarten. It's October 1949, and Sister Kay, who was most of the time I thought a very lovely lady and a great teacher, although there were times when she made me nervous, this was one of the times. Sister taught us all how to count to 100. Most of us knew how to count to 100 before we got into kindergarten. So counting to 100 was a piece of cake. Well, anyway, this day came, and Sister's going through the class, and she calls the students up one at a time, and she has a bead board. And there's 10 rows of beads, and she starts at the top, and as we count one, she slips a bead over two, so on. There's 10 beads in each on each ring there. So anyway, we're watching everybody do it, and when everybody gets done, we're clapping, and it seems like everybody did pretty good. And then finally came my turn, and Sister Kay said, "Okay, John William Bruner, come on up. It's your turn to do 100." Okay, I walked up there, and my goodness, was I confident. I mean, I had counted to 100 times at home. Mom and Dad used to have me do it. My older sister Judy, although she would bug me when I was doing. Anyway, we get going. Here we go. Sister Kay, here we go. Okay, John, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just kept going, doing really good. 25, 26, 27, 39, 40, 41, 42. 42. Comes after 42. I drew a blank. I drew an absolute blank, and I just stood there. And I could hear the kids in the class giggling a little bit, and that made me nervous. And then Sister patted me on the shoulder and said, "Okay, John, that's okay. That's okay. It happens to all of us. Going to go back, and we're going to start all over again, okay?" All right, so we went back, and we started all over again. I'm trying to gather my confidence, although I've lost a lot of confidence. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Gone. That next number is just gone. Gone. Sister said, "Okay, John, now you should be able to do this by now. You're the only one in the class that so far hasn't been able to. You should be able to do it. Going to give you one more chance. And if you don't do it, you'll have to stay after class this morning, and you will have to count to 100 for the second graders." Now, we just had half-day kindergarten. And when we were done kindergarten at St. Lawrence and Carroll, when we were done in the morning, the second graders would come in and use that room in the afternoon, just some logistics stuff for the school to make sure everybody had a room, and it was big enough. So anyway, she said, "Okay, are you ready?" She said, "I really don't want you to stay for the second graders. I want you to go home with everybody else." I am really nervous. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, I'm sweating, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Oh, 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 oh. Nothing. Oh my gosh. And Sister said, "Okay, John, you're going to have to stay after class when everybody else leaves, and you'll count to 100 for the second graders, and I'm sure you'll do a good job of it. So you go back and sit down, practice in your own mind, counting to 100. You go sit down, John." And I was just petrified to think I'd have to do it in front of the second graders. I didn't like the second graders. They were cocky, and they were older, and they were bigger, and they didn't like us little kindergarten kids. I could tell by the way they treated us out in the playground and that. But so anyway, Sister turned and was walking up to her desk, and as she turned, I sprinted for the door. And out the door I went, and she said, "John William, you get back here right now." No way. I was not going back in there, and I was not going to be counting for the second graders. Out I went, and she was right behind me. Let me tell you how it's set up down here. We're in the basement level of St. Lawrence School. Down there is the lunchroom, and the lunchroom is right next to the kindergarten room that I just ran out of. And there's all kinds of lunch tables out there. So it doesn't take long, and Sister's catching up to me. She's got long legs. I mean, even though she was old, she was an older nun. She had to be 45 or 50. And she was closing in on me. She was about ready to grab me. And then I took a turn, and I started running around the tables. Now, I could run around the tables a lot faster than she could. She would run a lot faster than me straight. So I figured if I'm going to get out of there, I got to run around the tables, got to wear her out, got to get a sprint for the door outside so I can run home and tell mom and dad about this terrible experience I just had in kindergarten. So anyway, we're going round and round and round this table, and I noticed she's huffing and she's puffing, and she stopped. She leaned over the table, across the table from me, and she said, "John William, you stop right now. You stop right now. Don't you move." And she started coming for me. She was walking around the table, huffing and puffing. She got about 2 steps from me, and pew! I took off again, round and round and round the table. You know, I thought we were having fun. At one point, I thought I saw her smile a little bit, but I don't think that was a smile. I was beginning to think we were having fun, that we were playing. You know, kids, it's all we do is run all the time. And she said, "Okay, John Bruner, this is your last warning. You stay right there, son. You stay right there." Started walking around the table. I stayed there. I kind of lowered my head. She got a half a step away from me, and her arm was extended to be put on my shoulder. And just before she put it on my shoulder, poof, I'm out of there. And she didn't even chase me. I'm out of there. I'm looking back over my shoulder, and I am running like heck. There's the door to the outside, ran up the steps, looked over my shoulder, and sister said, "John William Bruner, you are in deep, deep trouble, boy." And I hollered back, and I said, "So are you, sister." Then I ran out of the school. And our home was only 3 blocks from St. Lawrence. And I ran almost all the way home. And it was funny. I couldn't wait to tell Mom. I knew Mom would be on my side and that she'd love me and hug me and hold me, tell me how sorry she was for me. But as I got the last half a block home, I saw Mom walk out of the house and stand on the porch, and her arms were folded. I didn't know what that meant. I had forgotten that they had a newfangled piece of equipment out there now called a telephone. And apparently somebody, it was probably Sister Kay, called Mom and told her what happened. Well, I didn't care. I just wanted to see Mom. I just wanted to hug her. I just needed to have somebody on my side. And I went running up, and I threw my arms around her, and I started crying. He said, "Mom, I just had a terrible, terrible thing happen to me in kindergarten. Sister was mean to me, and she's going to make me count to 100 for all those second graders, and I can't stand those second graders. They're all mean." And so I quit kindergarten, Mom. She said, "No, you didn't quit kindergarten, John. You're going back right now, and you're going to count to 100 for those second graders because you've counted to 100 times here in this house. Now let's go." You know what? My book says she grabbed me by the arm, but she didn't grab me by the arm. She grabbed me by the ear, held my ear up for 3 blocks, all the way back to St. Lawrence. My ear hurt. It was red. It was about as red as this sweater I've got on here. We got back there. She took me into the classroom. Sister Kay was there. The kindergarten kids were gone, and the second grade kids had already shown up. So the room was full of second grade kids. And Sister said to me, "John, you just stand right up here in front with me." And Mom went home. She addressed the second graders, and she said, "Tell you what, we got something we're going to do today. You second graders are all very good at this. Our kindergartners are just learning how to count to 100. And John William Bruner is here, and he's going to count to 100 for us. Are you ready, John?" You know, I think maybe I grunted. I don't think I said anything. I was so nervous. I'm 5 years old, and I swear that my armpits were driven. I don't think kindergarten kids' armpits driven. So I start off 1, 2, 3, 4. She had the beads going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I started running out of breath. I was hyperventilating. I just started getting dizzy. 25, 26, 27, 34, 35, 36. Oh, I'm about ready to pass out. Matter of fact, it feels like I'm dying. I think I feel my little soul leaving my body. I am just so sick. I'm just about ready to go down. 40, 41, 42. This is it. This is the end. This is the end of my life. I'm going down. And then all of a sudden I heard 43. 43. That's the number. And I picked up on it. 44, 45, 46, 65, 75, 85, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Ho! And you should have heard those nice little second graders. They were clapping and cheering for me, and Sister was patting me on the shoulder. And she said, very, very good, John. I'm proud of you. Very good. Now you can go home. You know, that's Sister Katie. I loved her. She was my favorite kindergarten teacher. Oh my gosh. She said, okay, John, you go home now. And I walked out the door, and to my big surprise, who was out there? Mom and Dad. And I looked at them and I smiled and I thought, what are you guys doing here? And then I got thinking about it. Mom hugged me and Dad patted me on the top of the head. Then I got thinking about it. Well, they were there because they knew I could count to 100, and they came there to congratulate me. Sure, I thought about that on the way home, and I realized the reason they were there, now it's pretty obvious. In case I decided to run again, they were going to tackle me. I wasn't going to get out of the school that time, but it was something. Kids talked about that. Mom and Dad talked about it. Quite an experience, kindergarten. And I did love kindergarten, and it was a good experience, but it wasn't at the time. Anyway, there you go. We were back in 1949. It won't be long now. We're going to head back to 1955 or 56. You guys hang on. We'll be there very shortly. Thanks for coming on board. Love you guys. God bless.